Good morning from beautiful downtown Roanoke, Alabama. It's time to celebrate fall, family, and fun at the 17th annual Fall on Main Street Festival. We've got art, crafts, live demonstrations, and of course, some of the best food this side of the pumpkin patch. And now, joining us live on location with your Fall on Main weather update and more, here's Dr. Don from Dr. Don's Weather.
And good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Welcome back to the 17th annual Fall on Main Street in downtown Roanoke, Alabama. Adam Slay with the iSchool Sports Network, our next guest here on Dr. Don's Weather. A lot of folks out from behind the scene don't know that Adam and I go back to when Noah came over. And we've been involved. We've worked with each other in some shape, form, or fashion for, golly, Adam, since 1992.
Yep,
92. It's been a long time. Currently, of course, Adam took over the iSchool Sports Network when we unfortunately lost Wes Kinsey, and has really been doing a fantastic job with the network. COVID kind of, you always look for the silver lining in every cloud, and even in COVID, there was some positive things that came from it. Kind of forced your hand to go video with iSchool Sports, and now you guys on home games every Friday night with the 4 Randolph County high schools. You do video, and you do a phenomenal job with it.
You're right, Don. COVID kind of changed the scene of the landscape of things. We had toyed with the idea, but COVID just kind of said, here's your answer, you need to do it. And I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. You've helped, you and I we're tinkerers.
Yeah.
And Wes Kinsey was the ultimate tinkerer.
Yeah.
But you and I tinker with things, and we know enough to make both of us dangerous.
Absolutely. We had wires strung up all over the place, even here today, trying to figure out some issues Adam's having with one of his cameras. But it's fun also because you and I both love doing that kind of stuff. We love our community, and even though I don't live here anymore and have been gone, golly, it's been 15 years since I left, which is hard to believe. It seems like it was just yesterday. But we all love what we do. We love our community, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to do cool stuff like this. Last night, the Handley Tigers went down to Tuskegee, Alabama, and they took names.
They really did. I think the Golden Eagles kind of made our Tigers a little bit angry.
There was a lot of yin-yanging before the game, I think.
Yeah, and that's what we live in, the day of social media, where they see things. Back in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have this.
You had a sign hanging from a bridge, maybe.
Exactly, or the coaches were the ones that put the wreaths on the door at the field house.
Yep.
But there was a little yang going on, and unfortunately, it kind of marred that football game. It became a penalty fest, and there was some fist swung and stuff, and instead of lining up, teeing it up, and whipping somebody at the line of scrimmage.
Right. But Handley came away with a big winner. Every school in the county were big last night.
That's right. And Coach Kevin Smith for the Woodland Bobcats was just through here.
Yeah.
Yesterday was his birthday.
Wow.
And Woodland won big over Donahoe 55-6, I think was the final score.
Yeah.
And it was his birthday, so he got a birthday present, but he also stamped the Woodland Bobcats into the postseason as the number 4 seed.
All 4 teams from Randolph County in the playoffs this year. And as I said earlier, that doesn't happen every year, so it's pretty special to have all 4 schools in the playoffs, at least the first round. Hopefully all of them.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I can't remember the year. We tried to look it up, and it's been back at least 4 or 5 years since all 4 teams have made it. But you got 2 number 1 seeds, Wadley and Handley. They'll play at home the first round, and then Randolph County, a big winner over Beulah last night. They clinched the 3rd seed in Region 4 in Class 3A, so they'll have to travel to Thorsby, and then Woodland will make a trip across the state as the 4th seed, and they're going to Chuck Markham land. They're going to Hubbardville.
Wow, cool. So I listened to you guys last night and watched the Wadley game, and just impressive stuff. And what people don't understand is you don't just show up at a football stadium with a microphone and a camera and do this.
No.
It takes a lot of equipment, it takes a lot of time, and most importantly, it takes numbers of people to be able to put the product out there that you guys do. And I just want to tip my hat to you. Y'all do a really good job, especially on the video side. Of course, the audio has always been good, but the video side with all the graphics and stuff, and there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Yeah, there is a lot of work. There's people behind the scenes. Lon was kind of primarily the guy that did a lot of the video, the producing of the video at Hanley. He's moved on to a teaching position, and I'm especially proud of our partnership with Southern Union.
Yeah.
We do all Southern Union athletics as well, and I've got 4 kids from Southern Union that are interested in broadcasting, interested in communication, and so we put them to work. And not to mention, I got 4 or 5 softball players from Southern Union that actually run the cameras for me and stuff during the basketball season. So we've got a tremendous partnership with them, and then I've got some students at Hanley that have come aboard that want to learn and everything, and that's Don, that's kind of the thing about me, is teaching people for the future. Right. Because you and I
we're getting there.
We're dinosaurs, and finding folks to carry on what we do, and that's what's important to me, and passing it along to the kids.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on what you guys have been able to build over the years with the iSchool Sports Network, and again, we work together. Of course, I do the game night forecast for you, and then if we have a threat of severe weather or inclement weather at any of the venues, then we provide that information as we go throughout the night and help you guys get your audio issues straightened out, because it's something, especially when you've got 4 different broadcast teams out there, there's always going to be something.
Well, and I can't thank you enough, and you'd be surprised how many folks will call me on Wednesday or send me a message and say, hey, has Don done the weather yet? I want to know what to wear Friday night. Yeah. And, we live in the South, so it can go from 80 to 30 in 30 minutes. So,
absolutely.
And I can't thank you enough, because I think that's a neat part right before kickoff for everybody to know what the game night weather forecast is going to be. And you're incredible. What you do is incredible, and you are a vital part of Randolph County still. I don't care if you live on the moon. Everybody loves you. People come by. Look, there's Dr. Don T-shirts right there.
Yeah.
And so thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And we've had a lot of folks come by this morning. Good morning. How are you? Good. And like I said, it's the same thing with you. If it wasn't for the people who follow us and watch us, though, there would be no point. So our followers are the ones who make this happen.
And you're exactly right. And a great example, I had a lady, Miss Holloway from Wadley. She used to teach at Wadley. Unable really to go to the games on Friday nights, and she said she came by and she goes, iSchool Sports, and she goes, and she was almost in tears, and her son was there with her, and said they watch the games or listen to the Wadley games, and they just absolutely love it, and that's what we're about. Yeah. We don't want to take away from the gate. Right. We want to provide a service for people that can't go to the games, and we have a lot of alumni. Maurice Wright. Oh, yeah. Maurice happened to be at Booker T. Washington last night.
In Wetumpka, Alabama. He still lives in Wetumpka.
He still lives in Wetumpka. Yeah. He's a Hanley alum, but most of the time he can't get to the games. That's what we're there for. Yeah. People that can't come. But and look, when we set up in the stands, Chris May and I thrive on that. Yep. Is being there with the crowd. We want a lot of people to go.
Absolutely. And I was the same way when I was doing high school football. My thing was I had to have, if I was in a press box that was closed in, I refuse to do the ball game. I gotta at least have a crowd mic so I can hear the crowd. That's what makes a ball game exciting. And so I understand we need more people to come to the games, and that atmosphere is what gets those kids out there, and the band and the cheerleaders and everybody that works so hard really fired up. And that's the 12th man, as A&M says.
That's exactly right. And I got to tell a funny story about you. You and I are a lot alike. We look for perfection on things. We want things to be just right. And I was talking to somebody, and I'm not going to mention their name, but they said, man, you're like, Don, you want to show up at the game. If it don't start till 7, we got to be there at 1 o'clock so
Absolutely.
we can have everything perfect. And you know who I'm talking about. And and I'm the same way. I want to arrive early, get everything set up, and have everything perfect, and have all the tests done.
Well, because something is always going to go wrong. And Mike Fisher, the former mayor of the city of Roanoke, was one of the big ones. He used to always, he'd call me, you know, we'd be planning on going out of town. He'd call me like on Wednesday, and he'd say, all right, so we leaving Thursday night or early Friday morning? Because he knew good and well I was going to leave multiple hours in advance, because the worst thing that can happen to you is show up at a ball game and start having problems, and you're dealing with it right up till airtime, and your brain's a million miles away, and you just can't get into your rhythm.
Yeah, and then my situation is we have 3 other broadcasts that are going on most Friday nights. So
you're getting tugged in multiple different directions.
Exactly, and you go somewhere where you don't have a very little internet service, or cell service is bad. You know, you got to fix things and make things right to get on the air. And so I try to get there early, and I try to get set up, and I know you were the same way. And you know, but that's what makes it fun. And that's another thing that you help us with on Friday night that people don't know either, is you're set up in your studio and you're ready to listen for the for the video test and everything. And I don't know, like I said, you're just you're a dear friend of mine, and just a wonderful partner in what we do.
Well, I appreciate that, Adam, and I feel the same way about you and your crew. Great job that you guys do on Friday night. You know, football, high school football in particular, is my #1 first love. Always has been, always will be. I love doing the weather. I love doing the severe weather coverage, and we'll continue to do that as long as the good Lord will allow it. But my first #1 love is high school football.
Second is Auburn.
There's just nothing like sitting in that stadium and painting that picture to the folks who are listening, and getting and being part of that excitement in high school football is just, you know, the best there is, in my opinion. And so thank you for allowing me, in a small way, to still continue to be a part of that on Friday nights. You know, I tell my county that I serve, look, you guys can have 0 disasters between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Friday nights during football season. After that, I don't care. But we got to play football on Friday nights.
You are exactly right, and you just threw me off, because I was going to say something else, but I'll probably think of it when I leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Friday nights, it's just special. It's the purest form of football that we've got remaining, with NIL in college and the transfer portal, and you know, but high school football is the purest thing that there is.
Absolutely. Adam, thank you for coming by and talking to us. I know you guys are going to get out of here. You had a long night last night. You didn't get much sleep, and right back at it this morning. And you got to get ready for next week, because it doesn't start on Friday. It starts as soon as you get through on Friday.
Yep, and just so you know, Randolph County plays Hoax Bluff on Thursday night at in Wedowee, Ron Waters Field, and then Woodland plays Horseshoe Bend on Friday night at Woodland, and those are the only 2 games we got. So we got a Thursday night game. So you got to cut a weather.
We got to have a Thursday night weather and a Friday night weather. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll make that happen. Won't be a
That's
problem
my
at all.
text to you now.
Okay, good deal. Thanks, Adam, for coming by and talking to us. And guys, don't forget, we're going to be here till around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Still plenty of time to come by and see us as we broadcast live from downtown Roanoke.